Okay, there we go. Welcome to Verbling. Hello, I'm Teacher Oakley. Sorry, that class was a little slow loading. Sorry about that, but we're up and going now. And in this class, we're going to be learning some vocabulary, specifically idioms, more specifically idioms that we use to talk about similarities and differences. As usual, when I do an idioms class, I'm going to use exercises to help teach this. Students will take turns doing some exercises. As well, as we go along, I will attempt to remember any related idioms. You can help me in that attempt, by the way. Please do, if you can remember related idioms, or if you have questions about related idioms, don't be shy about asking me about them. As well, I'll try to explain any sort of connotations or metaphorical meanings of certain words. Sometimes some words have an abstract metaphorical meaning in English. I'll try to explain that, as well as situational use, which is basically the exercises will try to show situational use. I'll try to also elaborate on that as we go along. As always, I welcome students to share idioms from your native languages. That's always very interesting for me, and I think for the other, for your other classmates. Okay. Welcome to the class. Hello, Justo.
Hello, Oakley. Good morning from Spain.
Good morning from Spain. Okay. Hello. Hi, Spain. Hi, everyone in Spain. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for joining the class. Hello, Heidi again.
Hello, nice to see you again.
All right. Nice to see you. Okay. Without further ado, let's start looking at some idioms that we use when we're trying to explain or talk about similarity and difference when we're doing comparison. Okay, for example. Okay, the odd one out. All right, we're going to jump right into the idioms today. We've got a lot of idioms here, 10 different idioms to talk about things that are similar or some that are different. Actually, we can divide these into similar, meaning similar idioms, and meaning different. This may help you out as we continue the exercise here. We've got 5 of each. So I would like you to just read the sentence below here and try to figure out which idiom best fits in the blank. Okay, so Justo.
Yes.
I'm going to start with you. Okay, sentence number 1. Go ahead and.
Yes. All my brother and sister went to university, but I am the odd one out. I decided to leave school and get a job. Maybe.
I think that's exactly right. I am definitely grammatically, we're looking for, I am the odd one out. Okay, very good. The odd one out, the one that is different than the group. Doesn't matter how many are in the group. 3, 4, 3 million. If you're the odd one out, you're the one that's different. Very good. Justo, do you know another idiom that we use to talk about that you're the strange one in the family, specifically for being the one that's the odd one out in a family? We have another common idiom. Do you know it?
No, I don't know at the moment. In Spanish, it said, for instance, la oveja negra. In English, moment. Black sheep in the family is possible in English.
It sure is. That's exactly the idiom I was trying to see if you knew. Precisely. The black sheep of the family. Exactly the same. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is used for talking about in the family. The odd one out can be the one that is different in any kind of group. You know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. Well, what's the odd one out, Justo?
Two? Sorry?
Two. I give you a set of numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. What the number here is actually, it really is the odd one out because it's an odd number. What's the odd one out, Justo? 2, 4, 6, 8, 11.
I haven't a clue.
Okay.
I don't understand you. Sorry.
All right, I'm giving you a group of numbers. I said the odd one out is the one that's different than the rest of the group. I gave you a group of numbers. And a group of numbers in English we usually call a set, or a set of numbers. And the numbers I gave you were 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. Well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, those are even numbers. So those are called even numbers, divisible by 2. Those are even numbers. So the odd one out here is 11. 11 is an odd number. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, those are called odd numbers in English. So not only is it the odd one out idiomatically, it's also an odd number as well. So the and my point, I said that odd one out is different from the rest of the group. No matter what the rest of the group is, it doesn't matter. It can be a person, it can be an object, it can be a number. It doesn't matter. Okay, Heidi. Moving on. Number 2.
I would say that the cost of living in London is on a par with Paris.
I have no idea, but I have no idea about the context. As far as the grammar and will this fit in the sentence, it absolutely will. I think that's the correct choice. I would say that the cost of living is on a par with Paris, meaning similar to Paris, right. Now, if I had to choose one that would be different, a far, I would choose perhaps is a far cry from Paris. Yeah. I mean, that would be the opposite. That would mean it was completely different. I have no idea what the cost of living in London and Paris is, so contextually, I don't have a clue. But either of these idioms would fit in this sentence structure. Yeah. Okay. I don't have any idea. Do you, Heidi?
I think it's very similar. Both are very expensive.
Is it? Yeah, I know they're both. Yeah, I think they are. I think you're right. Okay. Let me welcome Anna to the class. Hello, Anna.
Hello, teacher. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. Doing okay. I'm going to come back to you in half a second after I quickly say hello to Ken. Hello, Ken.
Okay.
Yes. Hello. Hello again.
Hello again. Welcome back. Hang on, Ken. We'll give you one in just a second. Anna, number 3.
Yes. It's not just you not just you who's worried about losing your job, we're all blank. We're all blank. Maybe in the same boat.
Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, okay. If you're all in the
Okay.
same boat, you know, we use this to talk about people. You couldn't use this to talk about, well, there's vanilla and chocolate and strawberry ice cream and they're all in the same boat. That wouldn't make sense unless, well, there's a kind of dish
Okay.
called a boat. But
Yes.
yeah, anyway,
In the same situation.
that's it. So you're talking about people who are all in the same situation. Usually, I mean, always negative situation. You're not going to
Okay.
say, oh, you won $1 million in the lottery, and Ken won $1 million, and I won $1 million. That's terrific. We're all in the same boat. You would never say that. It would have to be a negative situation.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Ken, how about number 4?
There's a world of difference between visiting a country and actually living there.
Okay. True enough. All right. All right. Difference. Yeah, this is the only one that fits it all. A world of difference. Just basically exaggerating. There's a difference between. A world of difference obviously makes it a lot more extreme and stresses the fact it's a wide difference. You could say there's a wide difference as well, as a matter of fact. That's another collocation. Actually, you could say it in a number of ways. There's a huge difference. There's an enormous difference. There's a world of difference. All of those would be perfectly normal collocations to add stress to the idea. That's basically it. Okay. Justo, back to you.
Yes, I love my uncle. He's an eccentric. I don't know anybody quite like him. He's a far cry from.
From what? uh, that's not going to work because after we have a preposition, you need to follow a preposition. Usually, not always, there are dangling prepositions. Usually, you need to follow a preposition with a noun to create a prepositional phrase. So
Yes.
that's not going to work. Okay. Sometimes there's prepositions at the end of sentences. It's hard to get to. Okay. That place is hard to get to. Okay, that will work. But this case, it's not going to work. Do you have another choice?
One of a kind.
Yeah, that's better. He is one of a kind. Okay. He is unique. Right.
But
Often, yeah.
sorry, okay. The meaning of eccentric is very different to kind. No.
To one of a kind. Well, eccentric. Well, okay. Kind of funny. All right. Not dictionary definition. This is my opinion. Okay, just my opinion, Justo. But I think English speakers use eccentric. Well, if you're poor, then you're crazy.
Yeah.
He's a nut. He's crazy. But if you're wealthy enough, then you can be eccentric. For example, Michael Jackson was not crazy. He was just eccentric. Because he was rich enough. All right. Eccentric means somebody has odd things about their character. They do unique things, like wearing a glove on your hand, like having a pet monkey, like having your own zoo. Okay. like Michael Jackson. All right. All right. Eccentric, a bit. You have odd things about you. Now, all right. In English, we would often say somebody who's a little eccentric, we would say he's a character.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody
Okay.
who's funny and amusing and entertaining, maybe not funny. So maybe an old man who's very crotchety, very angry all the time, and he's very rude to everyone. You might say he's a character, or he's eccentric. He's different, but yeah, a very different, unique person. Anyway, we would often use the very much related. He's a character to describe someone who is one of a kind or unique.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Sure. Heidi, number 6.
Mhm. Nigel and I are good friends, but when it comes to politics, we are the odd one out or pulled apart.
Yeah, pulls apart. We are far apart. So two different things. Pulls apart, North and South Pole, or plus and minus if you're talking about magnetism, whatever. Okay, fine. We're far apart. So, okay, in a business discussion, this would be common in business as well. We are far apart in our coming to an agreement or negotiating a settlement or what have you. We're poles apart. Again, exaggeratingly saying very, very far apart. Also, a world of difference. Also, we use that. We're worlds apart. Occasionally, that's another related option. We absolutely couldn't say we are the odd one out because the odd one out is singular. So you couldn't use a plural. They are the odd one out. We are the odd one out. That would never work because we use the odd one out for one. Singular is different. Okay, so couldn't be that, but poles apart, very far apart. Yeah. Last weekend I spent some time with a friend I hadn't seen in quite some time, and I forgot how much like this example, our politics are poles apart or worlds apart. I had to say at least 3 times, okay, we're not talking about this anymore. Stop. Never mind. End that conversation. We're just poles apart in our views. Okay, next one, number 7, Anna.
Yes. Don't bother going to see the new Bond film. It's virtually. Sorry, can you roll up? Oh, okay, thank you. A carbon copy?
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Virtual, okay. Don't bother going to see the new Bond film. Okay. Careful of your pronunciation, Anna. Virtually.
Yes. Sorry, can you repeat, please?
The whole thing? Sure. Oh, yeah,
virtually.
Okay. All right. Now, okay, this is a very common introductory expression. It's virtually, or it's practically, it's almost really, really close to whatever. Okay, so anyway, it's virtually a carbon copy. A carbon copy, obviously, is an exact copy of a document. You make a carbon copy of something. All right. Okay, so we can use this about anything here. It's being used to describe a Bond film. It's a carbon copy of the last one. We rarely use this to talk about people, but it would be possible, I guess, to talk about, you know, twins, for example. They're virtually carbon copies of each other. Okay, it's possible, usually used about other things, however, because there's another idiom we're going to be looking at in just a minute, which discusses people that look a lot alike, very, very similar. Ken, moving on. Number 8.
Yeah, so here you're living in a luxury flat, looking at a Buckingham Palace. It's far cry. It's a far cry from the slums of Liverpool.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, it's a far cry from the slums of Liverpool. All right. It's okay. All right. It's a wide difference. There's a wide difference. There's a huge difference. All right. And this idiom gets used a lot to express extreme difference, especially in two areas, in places or situation or experience. Yeah, it can be used in all English, in business English, including okay, the guy I interviewed is a far cry from the employee we need. Okay, great. So I can use it to talk about people, even, or anything. All right. Back around, Justo, number 9.
Yes, I have just met David's brother. He's the spitting image of that guy who reads the 6 o'clock news on TV.
Okay. Yeah, that's the correct one. Spitting image.
Spitting.
Yeah,
Spitting image.
He's a spitting image. Okay, be careful of that, because spite is another word.
Okay.
All right, he's a spitting image of that guy. All right, he looks identical. Okay, we only use this for people. I wouldn't say, oh, our competition's advertising campaign is the spitting image of our advertising campaign last year. I would never say that. I would say it's the carbon copy. It's a carbon copy of our old advertising, like that. Definitely spitting image used for people. The history of this idiom is very interesting, and nobody knows exactly, but if you can research it, it's a little bit off color, but if you want to research that, you might find that interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it, but there's various theories. Sometimes people, English speakers, know exactly where the idiom came from. Sometimes it's a mystery, and there are many, many theories. I just bring it up because that's an idiom that has many theories. Where did that come from? All right. Anyway, next one, number 10, Heidi. Okay, go ahead.
And work later. Or do a bit of work, then eat. Oh, I don't care. Eat the longest one. I love my.
It's the longest one. Yes.
1.5 dozen of the other.
Yep. Frankly, be honest, I use this. Probably say this once a week. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I often say it just by itself as an idiom. Somebody asks, I don't know, should we eat at McDonald's or Burger King? And I might reply, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. In other words, there's no difference to me. They're the same thing. I don't care. Would you like 2 5s or 1 10 has changed. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I could care less. I could care less means there's no difference to me. Okay. Both options. The idea is both options. You're given 2 options. Both options will have the same exact result, so it doesn't matter. Do you want to say the number 6? Do you want to say half a dozen? It's the same thing. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Okay, very common. All right, join the club. Okay. Now, we're going to look at some more idioms where we're going to be sticking in the idiom is already written there, but we're throwing in the verb or phrasal verb in a couple cases. Okay, continuing. Anna, I'm absolutely fed up. I'm overworked. I'm underpaid.
Join the club. You're not the only one, you know.
You're not the only one, you know. Okay, join the club. Okay. Now, we use this idiom when somebody... okay, this didn't just happen. He's overworked, underpaid. Okay, when somebody expresses something negative, another person, a different person, might say, join the club. Well, so are we. You're in the same boat with us, basically, is what you're saying. Or it's very often when something has changed. And the person expresses a negative change. Whatever that negative change might be. It could be anything. I'm really sick of the political advertisements on TV recently. They're driving me crazy. Join the club. Another person may say, join the club. They're driving me crazy as well. It could be, oh, well, I just broke up with my girlfriend. Join the club. So did Frank, and so did I. All right, we're all single now. Okay, to show that you're all in similar circumstances. Okay, number 2, Ken.
You can't go to your funeral in a green suit. You'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Sore thumb, yeah.
Thumb.
Okay. All right, this is another very common idiom. You'll stick out like a sore thumb. Or, okay, this is advice, but, okay, we could speak it as an observation.
What is sore thumb?
Well, okay, literally, sore means it is painful, and thumb, of course, is on your finger. You have 4 fingers and a thumb. So you'll stick out like a sore thumb. You'll stick out. If something sticks out, it's highly noticeable.
Okay. I see.
That's the idea. So, okay, it can be used as advice as we have it here. Also, very often, we use it as an observation. All right, Lady Gaga sticks out like a sore thumb at the Grammy Awards. Okay, whatever. She's wearing a purple tree on her head or something crazy. Okay. Extremely noticeable. About people, and often it has to do with the clothes they're wearing. How they're dressed, or they look completely different than everyone else. Okay, a guy with long hair, down to his belt would stick out like a sore thumb in a group of Marines, for example. It'd be extremely obvious and noticeable. Now, it's negative. The connotation or the idea is that it's a negative. You don't want to be noticed. This is not a good thing. So we we wouldn't really use this about things. Although it could be, I guess. For example, all right, I park at the very expensive, exclusive golf club, all right, in my old, battered, unpainted VW Bug, with an old Volkswagen Bug, and all the other cars in the parking lot are Mercedes and Volvos and Saabs and BMWs. My car might stick out like a sore thumb. Go ahead, you can borrow my car. You're going to notice it. It sticks out like a sore thumb in the this parking lot. It's possible to use it, but remember, the idea is that it's a negative. It's very noticeable in a negative way. So usually about people, but it could be about things. Okay, Justo, back to you, number 3.
Yes, I can't tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi. Can you?
That's right. Very common phrasing. I can't tell the difference between two things. This is very, very common to say, using the negative to say things are similar. How about you, Justo? Can you tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi? Yeah.
Pepsi is more sugary. It's
Okay.
possible to me.
All right.
But
Okay.
it's a little difference.
All right. It's more sugary. It's more sweet.
Yes.
Okay. And it's possible for me. Is the correct phrasing. It's possible for me to tell the difference. Okay, and actually that would co-locate with this phrase quite often. It's the whole idea of possible or impossible. It's impossible for me to tell the difference between the twins. Okay, so this is a really common phrasing. We use this a lot in English. Heidi, number 4.
I expect John will follow in his father's steps and become a lawyer as well.
Okay. And do a lot of people in Japan follow in their father's footsteps?
Employees are different. But some people, for example, making something, traditional things. You know, Japan is like lacquer painting.
Okay. Right.
Or
so
like.
So artisans.
Kabuki or something. Yeah, always.
So artisans and craftsmen, then it's common.
Kabuki or some traditional thing.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. It would be common for someone to follow in their father's footsteps.
Dancing or something when they were very young, 3 or 4 years old.
I see. Okay. So the main idea here being that we usually normally use this to talk about a son taking on the occupation, the skills of their father. Now, sometimes we can use this idiom to talk about the son taking on the personality. He's following in his father's footsteps of being a ruthless negotiator, for example, something like that. It is possible to use it to talk about continuing the characteristics. And you can say daughter. His daughter is following in his footsteps.
For example, father was a very bad guy.
Yeah.
Had bad history. Sometimes he was in jail. And then son is the same, very bad, like that.
Yes. In fact, I was thinking of using that example, exactly that example. Yep, I think he's going to follow in his father's footsteps and end up in jail. Yeah. Yes. So it could be it could be used to express a positive idea or a very negative idea, either. Okay. Anna, number 5.
Yes, I'm very hot-headed. I lose my temper quite easily. My father's just the same. I suppose I take after him.
Very good. Yes. You take after someone. Now, this one needs a little explaining. It's not very clear. Sorry, but it's not. When we use this in English, we need some context and we need more information, because this phrasal verb, take after, it can mean that you have a similar personality trait or characteristic. It can also mean that your appearance, you may physically look like somebody. I take after my grandmother. I really don't look like my father or my grandfather, but I look a lot like my grandmother. So I take after my grandmother as far as my appearance. But on the other hand, I definitely take after my father and my grandfather when it comes to sense of humor and personality. They loved practical jokes. They love to laugh. They love to make people laugh. My grandmother was actually quite a serious person. So I take after one in one aspect, physical, and after another in another aspect. So you got to be careful about that one. Okay, Ken, number 6.
Okay, I've looked at the sound system in the physics one, and there seems to be little to choose between them. They are both good value for money, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, there's little to choose between them. Okay, I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Okay, meaning obviously there's very little difference. Okay, a moderately used idiom. I've definitely heard it, but not that much. Okay, let's move on to a few more we're going to look at in the context of dialogue. Okay, complete the following text in a dialogue using the idioms or the sentence which include an idiom. All right. Back to you, Justo. I only knew Mary's sister Elizabeth. She led a very quiet life.
Or you couldn't accuse Mary of that. She was a different kettle of fish.
She was a different kettle of fish. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. To compare and show a strong difference in kind of a long idiom where we need to use this subject noun, whatever we're talking about. Sometimes we just say it's a whole different kettle of fish now. Okay. All right. To express the idea, there's a wide difference. Okay. Anyway, all right. Great. Heidi, number 2, has the change of government made any real difference?
Absolutely. As different as chalk and cheese.
Okay, that fits. Okay. It fits if we understand that, okay, it's a comparison between now and obviously the past, the government in the past. Okay. But also, because we're adding this element of past and now. There's a time element here. while your answer would fit, I think the better answer, the answer they're looking for anyway, we are in a whole new ball game now. Okay. And frankly, it's a little strange for me to say we're in a whole new ball game.
Oh, yes.
It'd be very common to say it's a whole new ball game. That's it. It is.
I like chalk and cheese.
You just like chalk and cheese. You just wanted to say that. Okay.
I prefer this one. Use it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it would actually fit, but it's a whole new ball game. Okay, we use this. It's a whole new ball game, and usually that's how we say it. Now we're in a whole new ball game, but it's a whole new ball game. Usually because something has changed. So the situation, the circumstance, the situation has changed, and it could be good or bad. By the way, this expression could be talking about a good change or a bad change. It's a whole new ball game. It's totally different now. Okay, so anyway, obviously, well, the next one, Anna, you and your sister are very different characters, aren't you?
Completely different, as different as chalk and cheese.
Yeah, I agree with Heidi. I like this one. Americans don't really use this one. I never heard of this until a year or two ago, actually. I didn't know what it was. I had to research it when I first heard it. Very British. Americans use a few different similes. The one that comes immediately to my mind is night and day. Completely different. As different as night and day. Or we may often say just night and day. Oh, it's night and day. Completely different.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
How about the cucumber and the zucchini?
Those are too similar. I've never heard that one before.
But it's different.
There's not much difference. When I was a chef, I've sent my subordinates to the store to get one or the other, and they've come back with the opposite. Go get me, I need you to get 6 cucumbers, and they come back with 6 zucchinis. Ah, darn it. That's actually happened to me before. I'm totally not kidding. Okay. Anyway, as different as night and day is a common expression. One that reminds me of, Anna, when I'm comparing, if I want to compare how much money I make in a year and how much Americans spend on their pet dog, what might you say about that? You might say I'm crazy. Okay, comparing two totally different pieces of information.
Yes,
Right.
for example, the information you told me is as different as chalk and cheese. I don't know.
Chalk and cheese. Okay. Actually, a very common expression in English. You're comparing apples to oranges. We use this to express the idea that someone is trying to make a point or support an opinion, but they're using two pieces of information that they're completely different pieces of information. So
Yes.
they don't relate.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, teacher. For example, if a people ask you, what do you like most, orange or peas? I suppose.
Yeah.
You can tell they are as different as Chuck and cheese.
Okay, you could say that.
I don't
Well,
know.
sure you could. Sure you could. But I just wanted to bring up this sort of related idiom, which is very common. We're basically arguing against someone's argument. We say you're
Oh,
comparing apples to oranges. If I say, okay, the the quality of life in the Philippines is better than the quality of life in America. Maybe someone would say you're comparing apples to oranges. They're two completely different things. The standard of living is different. How much money people make is different. What people consider a good quality of life is completely different. So it's a comparison that's not valid. You're
yes.
comparing apples to oranges. Okie doke. Anyway.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
just wanted to share that with you because it's very common to use as an argument against a comparison argument. Okay, sort of review. Okay, pop quiz review. Ken, number 1.
You can get farther apart in the world than the North Pole and the South Pole. If you hold very different opinions, we say that your views are
Do you remember?
poles apart.
Poles apart. Okay, and you cannot get farther apart. Okay. All right. I wonder if that's true. I mean, it seems logical, but isn't the world isn't a perfect sphere, right? So there's okay. Anyway,
And some people could go to the moon.
some people could. Okay. All right. Anyway, as I said, all right, you're very different views. You poles apart, or your worlds apart is also. Speaking of people going to the moon. Okay. Justo, number 2.
Yes. If you have your thumb and put a bandage on it, it will look very different from your other fingers. So if someone is wearing something very different from what is expected, he might look like a sore thumb.
All right, okay. But it's important we use the correct verb in an idiomatic expression, or it doesn't sound right.
Stick out.
That's it. Stick out like a sore thumb. All right, okay. So we're looking at both the literal compared to the non-literal meaning. So, right. Stick out like a sore thumb. Okay. Heidi, number 3.
In golf, you take 4 strokes or holes, which is a par 4. You take the number of strokes which are expected. If someone is at the same level as you, they are on a par with you. No.
Yeah, on a par with you. That's right. Somehow I think we skipped that one. Somehow on a par with. Or did we? Oh yeah, no, we got it. On a par with Paris. No, we got that one. All right, that's right. Yeah, you're correct. That's right. Someone is, and then you could be talking about people. Wow. Situations, quality of objects. Okay, this whole concept of par and being on par with. The level of craftsmanship, lots of things that we ascribe this concept of par in English, meaning equal to, often equal to what is expected. Okay, his test scores are on a par with what we expect students to get to enter our university. It doesn't matter. His traumatic experiences in wartime are on a par with some of the best authors like Hemingway. Okay, doesn't matter. You're comparing two things that are similar and that are the expected or known expectation. We use this concept of par a lot in English. In other words, another expression, it's par for the course. When somebody does something or something happens that it could be, we would expect. Okay. For example, Michael is often late to work, and he's supposed to show up on time. He has a presentation for the customer at 9 o'clock, the normal time it is for him to start. He's late. You might comment, well, that's just par for the course. That's what I would expect. I expect him to be late. He's late all the time. Could be used negatively, can be used positively, but it's all about meeting the expectations or being equal to, either meeting expectations or being equal to what is expected, or being equal to another thing which is referenced. Like the cost of living is in London is on par with Paris. Well, like, okay, so both are referenced. So it's kind of used a couple different ways. Okay, Anna, number 4.
Yes, a dozen means 12. If there is nothing to choose between two options, you can say that the choice is maybe 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
That's it, precisely. Okay.
Okay.
Usually the idea being that the outcome of the choice, there is no difference in what the outcome will be, so it simply doesn't matter. There's no difference. Okay. All right. Very good. Ken, number 5.
Many years ago, if you want to make 2 copies of a document, you have to type it using 2 sheets of paper with a piece of carbon paper between them. If one thing is identical to another, it is the splitting image.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
You're close.
identical.
The answer is it's a carbon copy.
Carbon copy. Okay.
Right. Okay.
The carbon copy. Yeah.
Right. All right. Now, carbon copy can be anything, or a person. A spitting image, we only use it for people. We would not use it for objects. We would not use it even for animals. We only use that for people. Okay. Okay, we got just a couple of minutes. We might not get through all of these. Let's see if we can quickly zip through these. See how many you remember. Justo, number 1.
Yes. We are all in the same boat.
Perfect. Heidi, number 2.
Stick out like a sword. What sword?
It's a noun. Sore means, here it's an adjective used painful or injured.
Sword, now it's only carbon or pole. So carbon.
No. These aren't answers.
Oh.
It's a noun. Actually, stick out like a sore thumb. Be very noticeable for negative reasons.
Okay.
All right. Anna. Sorry, Anna. 3.
Yes, yes. A different kettle of fish.
Very good. And Ken, number 4.
As different as chalk and cheese.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, Justo, number 5.
Yes, follow in his father's steps.
Okay, footsteps. Again, it's very important that
Yes,
you
footsteps.
get the whole word. Okay. Heidi, number 6.
Common copy.
Indeed. Anna.
Yes, the old one out.
Indeed. Okay. Ken.
Okay, I can't tell the difference.
Very good. Very commonly used. 9. Justo.
Join the club. The club.
Join the club. Okay. Yeah. All right. That has a certain intonation too. But well, join the club. Very kind of, it's a sarcastic thing to say, so it needs the intonation. Last but not least, Heidi.
Pulled apart.
Indeed. Pulls apart. Very good. Excellent. And thank you, everyone, for joining me. Hope you learned a few new useful idioms. And see you again next time.